going on, ladies and germs? This right here is the Inmotion V12S. I am absolutely in love with this wheel. But right now I just want to reinforce my little side fairing plate because I do a lot of aggressive riding. So I'm going to give myself some washers on my screws here, and I'm going to replace these screws, these factory screws. I'm going to put some hex screws in their place, and yeah, it looks like they're sunk though. That's the only thing. These are sunk, so I don't think it's going to matter though. Here we go. So that's 1, 2, skip a few. Okay, that's 3. This is a Phillips head screw that they've got here. 4 and 5. Okay, that should be all of them. It's just hanging on by a little piece of Velcro now. That little tiny piece of Velcro is what's holding it on there, so I'm gonna slide this off, okay? And that's what we've got going on underneath. Nice little foam plate here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a little bit of double-sided tape in here around these edges. And then I'm also going to put some bigger fitting hex screws here on these parts because I wanna make sure that this is basically my fairing plate, and I want it to be super sturdy for all of the weird stuff that I plan on doing on this awesome wheel. So, like I said, I'm gonna go around the edge where there is no material, and we're gonna put some double-sided tape there, okay? Oh, let me get the screws that I wanna use and see if I can find those. Actually, I'm gonna take off the other side, and then I'll do that. All right, so what we're using for our replacements for these guys, for these little, so these are M3, I think these are M3 6mm with a Phillips head, M3 6mm with a Phillips head, countersunk. I am replacing it with an M3 8mm and a washer. It's gonna have a hex fit to it, okay? And then, so you're gonna need 10 of those, okay? M3 8mm with a washer. As I told you, I'm going to put a little bit of double-sided tape on the inside of the fairings, right? So I am going to denature those areas with a little bit of alcohol, some 99. That'll get rid of the grime every time. I'm just going to clean the edge here. You can see I'm doing such a precision job of this. There we go. Okay. And then the Gorilla tape that I have is about 1 inch thick. I only need 1/3 of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it in little strips with my little box X-Acto thingy. There's probably better ways to do this. If you know of a better way to not gouge yourself, please leave it in the comments below, okay? Let's see, fix it all. Yeah, that worked, look at that, cool. Okay, so that's about all that I wanted anyway, so I think that I'm gonna use that. Now, I'm gonna add that to a couple of spots on this plate, okay, front. So I'm gonna put one at this corner, okay? Then I'm gonna put one, the other couple corners here. Damn, this is so sketch. And then, so I just cut it into like 4 little 1-inch strips. And then we're just gonna one right back here. And then I'll put one right up here, okay? Now I'm gonna go ahead and peel off my little sticky stuff. I like to use a blade for this because it doesn't actually remove the adhesive component. It's a lot easier to get in there. Okay. There we go, okay? So now I'm gonna go ahead and put this bad boy where I want him to go. Make sure the holes are where they need to be, and it look like there. Okay. Now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna screw all that down. Anyway, I'm not gonna bore you guys, but if any more of this, but basically this is how you want to do it. Put your fairings nice and secure. I'm not super tightening these because I don't want to break anything. There we go. And the double-sided tape, maybe you don't need that, I don't know, but I just like to double and triple reassure myself that I'm not gonna have anything weird happening. I like as much stability as I can handle. Really, really beautiful panels, you know, but super duper beautiful panels. Not gonna be too expensive if you try to replace them. So, you know, like unlike certain, if you have a wheel that has like an all metal side or something like that, those sides get pretty expensive. This right here, very cost efficient solution. And I happen to think this actually gives it sort of an industrial look. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. I actually kind of like that. Looks nice. With the black ones, it's super cool. Okay. I'm not, again, going super duper tight. I'm going just a little bit into finger snug as far as like this goes. Uh-oh. There we go. Yeah, you don't want to try to tighten the hell out of these because that will cause a problem for you, I'm sure. You might end up breaking something on the inside, you know. They really, all of these wheels, Inmotions, the Goats, lubricants, they all should come with torque spec sheets, because, you know, not knowing how these things should be is like you're just flying blind, and you're gonna end up stripping, torquing something out, and it sucks, dude. Especially when you gotta replace the whole thing behind it. So anyway, if you wanna be safe, like I did, just go too snug, and yeah, let me know what you think. We upgraded from these guys right here, right, to these guys right here. I definitely feel like it's a big upgrade on the machine itself. Check it out, compared to up here. Probably gonna replace them all. That just looks dope. Just gonna throw on these Grizzla pads, guys. Gonna sync up. You might think that this color scheme was my idea, but my lady was like, nah, you gotta do the orange and black to make this shit match. I was like, all right, bet. I'm gonna do that. She makes everything look better. So let's test it out here. All right. And then I'm just gonna give it the standard fitment that I normally like, right there. See how that feels? Oh, buddy, is that locked in? It's super locked in. Dang, that feels really good. That's crazy. That's really crazy, guys. Holy crap, holy. I actually like that a lot, man. The prototypes were nice, but that feels crazy good. Oh man, that's kinky. I like that, guys. That's snug. Let's see what over here we can do. I think that they deleted some of the shin in these. There you go. I'm gonna have to add some Velcro probably up here. That's a lot of real estate that I don't have Velcro. There you go. I'm gonna have to put some Velcro there. It's actually nice. Let's see what we got going on here. Oh man. Oh dude. Yeah, these are different for sure. They have a very different profile to them. That's cool. Bet you ain't never seen nothing like that. Whenever I get a new electric unicycle, there's typically 3 to 4 mods, depending on how it comes out of the box, that I need to do in order to make sure it is Johnny Go Vroom ready. And the first thing I need is performance rated pedals. That means, for me, performance rated means it needs to have reliefs. That means it's not a completely flat pedal, one solid surface with no holes. You can't see through it. It also needs to have spikes on it, not just nubs, spikes that you screw in. It also needs to have pedal risers on both the front and the back for comfort and control. Additionally, I need pads that complement the wheel that I'm riding. On the V12S, when you don't have all of this insane torque, you're going to want as much shin leverage. So the sync pads, particularly the production models, don't have nearly as much shin leverage as the prototype ones that I had, which makes them ideal for this wheel. So power knobs, sync pads, any toe block, knob style, shallow shin type pad will work very well on the V12S. Additionally, whenever I get a wheel, I need to make sure that those pads are anchored in really well. I loved the Grizzla kit, and even Clark had some really cool kits that did that. So Grizzla and Clark are companies that make armor and aftermarket accessories for these wheels. I like the idea of having a fairing that anchors into the wheel via screws, but in my opinion, when looking at the screws on the side of the V12S, you'll see immediately they were put there for aesthetic, to provide this very clean kind of Apple iPhone sort of feel to it. The last thing that I need two things. I need to have armor. The wheel needs to be protected. I don't want it to get messed up. So those are the things. Currently, there is not an armor system out there, but the bumper on the front and back does feel really hardy. And to be honest, I'm not worried about denting up the metal or it falling and scratching the metal, because those things are super duper cheap and easy to replace. So that and a seat. That would be the last thing. So you see me right here using my butt direct. And I don't like having the bar up my butt. The bar it's right there. It's like it's on the gooch. You know what I mean? Don't like that. So we need pedals, we need pads, we need fairing, we need armor, and a seat. So I guess I don't know how to count, and that's 5 things. But depending on the wheel, it can end up being between 3 and 5 things, because sometimes they have these things on the wheels already. Anyway, I've talked too much. I've gotten past the point of this video. So if you like the content, if you enjoyed, the little tutorial and tips, like, subscribe, and all that jazz. Damn, I talk too much, man. But thanks for hanging in there with me. Ride safe, ride strong. Catch you later, guys.